You know, I have the incredible privilege, as Tony says, of leading WoW, and as a church, you are such an encouragement to us in everything that you do for us. I want to thank Jackie and the team at Like New for everything you do. And it's funny, isn't it? We're now 20 years into this journey of doing WoW. We took it on 20 years ago for my parents. They did 25, 27 years prior to that. And that's 40, nearly, probably in all honesty, probably 50 years. And what I can tell you is God never, ever fails. It's not always on our timing. And sometimes Tony will tell you, he's one of our trustees, I am possibly one of the most impatient people that you will ever meet. And I want things to happen, and it's got to happen quick. But you know what I'm learning as I'm getting older? That actually I have to be a little bit more patient, and I have to sometimes stop relying on my own ability and actually start to rely more and more on God, because he never ever fails. A couple of weeks ago, I was in Uganda, and people say to me, does the support that I give really make a difference? Does it really make a difference in the lives of the women that you're working with? And for those of you who don't know, WoW predominantly works with women and girls. We work with women and girls because actually we've identified if we can have influence over the mum or the grandma or even the great-grandma in some cases of that family unit, we can have influence over the family. If we can train, if we can give them micro-business training, if we can give them a hand up, not a hand out, and if we can get them to do their micro-business, their VSLA, which you'll hear about in a minute, or if we can give them some training, some health and some hygiene, some medical care, that in turn has a massive impact on the family unit. And when you start to have an impact on a family unit, you then start to have impact over a community. And when you start to have impact on a community, you start to have influence in the surrounding area. And I want to tell you this morning that, you know, in Arua, where you as a church have sown into getting the micro business stuff going, investing into the maize grinder and the building there, you guys have made a massive difference by allowing us to facilitate that there. And I said, does the support really make a difference? On the project there in Arua, there's a 67-year-old lady called Beatrice. Beatrice has had one of the most horrendous lives you could ever begin to understand. It is traumatic. But she lives on the WoW land, and she serves and she cleans, and she's out there digging from early hours in the morning. She's up at 6 a.m. every morning, and she works the land. And we let her stay. She stays on the land. We give her food parcels, and she's now one of our project leaders. So she looks after a group of ladies. She is absolutely amazing. And we got to the land 3 weeks ago. And as I'm walking down, she obviously heard my dulcet tones, and she came running up the road, and she flung her arms around me and just hugged and just wanted to take me. She'd just wanted to take me and show me, you know, that the pineapples that she'd been growing on the land. Something so simple. And I took her into this room, which is on part of our project. It's a mud floor, brick walls. And I just looked around. And I remember I was there about 3 years ago, and I said to our project leader, could we get her a bed? And the project leader at the time said, no, we can't get her a bed because actually the mattress had become infested with bugs. And it sounded a logical explanation to me. So I stood there and I looked at this floor, on the floor, and she had a little bit of mat that was about that thick. And a little bit of them bamboo on top of this mattress. And I said, well, what's that? And he said, well, that's what she sleeps on. And you know when you go, actually, that's not good enough for a 67-year-old to be sleeping on that. So I said again, so can we go get her a mattress? Can we just not go and buy her a bed? Different project leader, different outlook, different perspective. She looked at me and she went, yeah. So I like to cause chaos. So I said to the team, right, forget what we're doing. We're off to go buy a bed and we're off to go buy a mattress. And we didn't tell Beatrice we're doing this. And the short version of this is we come back to the project within a couple of hours with a brand new bed, with a mattress, which cost us £55 for both. And we took it off the van, and it was like we were taking it into Beatrice's room, and it was like she had won the lottery. She was so excited. And then she said this: "This is the first bed I will ever have slept on," at 67. And you know what? She was so excited. She's on this bed and she's literally just praying and thanking God for a bed. And I'm thinking, we all have a bed. We all have a sheet. We all have a cover. We gave her blankets. We gave her some pillows. And I said to her, as I'm coming away, I said, "You're going to sleep really well tonight." And we were back on the project the following morning, bearing in mind that I said she was up at 6 a.m. every morning to work the land. We went back the following, it was around lunchtime the following day. So I said to Beatrice, and she's a little bit of broken English with our translator as well, I said, "How was your bed?" And she grinned at me. She said, "Oh, it was amazing. I didn't wake up till 11 a.m. So I looked at her, I said, "If you carry on lying in bed like that, we're going to take the mattress off you and you've got to keep working." But you know, you say, does the support that I make a difference? We can't change the world, but we can change someone's world. And Beatrice is one of those ladies, just one of the ladies that we have the privilege of supporting. And that's just in Uganda. We're going to Bulgaria in a couple of weeks' time, and Jackie, quite a while ago, sent us this. There was a big parcel turned up at the office. Rachel knew about it, and I've opened this box. What is this? And there's lots of little hand-knitted bears that are going to go out to Bulgaria in just the next few weeks when we go out there with the Christmas stockings. So thank you, Jackie, if you're watching online. Hello. Hope you're feeling better. But thank you for everything you do. That's just a little bit of an update. But honestly, as a church here in Southam, you have blessed us. You have encouraged us so much. So thank you. God bless.
It's great, isn't it, when you can do something like that and then hear about it and see it as well. You can do if you want.
So this is what happens when my wife's not here and I don't stick to my notes. When I was in Uganda 3 years ago, I'm just going to introduce this story. Lady that I met, the group of ladies meeting clusters, and we were having a cluster meeting, and she just happened to be hanging around. So I said to our project leader, "Can you just go and talk to her, find out what her story is?" And it turns out that this lady's name was Josephine. And Josephine, 2 weeks before this is 3 years ago, 3.5 years ago, 2 weeks before, her husband had died. And the way that it works in Uganda, sadly, if it's deemed that it is your fault by the local church, not church council, the local council, then potentially she could lose all of her land, all of her assets, and be left with absolutely nothing. Crazy situation when you think about it. And Josephine was just stood, and she'd heard the song, she'd heard the singing, and she asked if she could join the WoW project. Now, our project leader said, "Well, we're at capacity." I said, "We can do one more." So Josephine joined our project 3 years ago, and this is Josephine's story. So I'm stood in Arua in Uganda, and I'm actually at one of the Cluster B meetings. And this lady, Josephine, has been part of the, look, there you go. So has been part of the cluster for a number of years now. And we're just about to get Harrison to come over and give you her story and her background. So it was good, really encouraging story.
Yes, hello everyone. I am Harrison, the project director of WoW Uganda. Next to me is Josephine. We're just going to get onto an interview with her. So I hope you enjoy the life-transforming testimony from Josephine. Yes, here we go, please. This is Josephine. Josephine, the floor is yours. Micho Dibeyo Njera.
Wawdri ma anzisu ma kupita ranga wisin.
Josephine says thank you so much to WoW. She has 4 children. She lost her husband some time back, so she is a widow for now.
Eyo de ni tsara mavugo metanda tsandi site wawi mazako enzema tsandi malia.
When she lost her husband, her heart was so much troubled and she was heartbroken, but WoW came in to give her support, and lift her from the really troublesome life that she was going through.
Antini fire school abo finance lingel futuralo melody school fees melody business yani melody school fees of yani.
At the time when she came into WoW, she came and got the VSLA was just being established, and she was able to borrow 100,000 from the capital fund, and she started doing business with it, and it grew up. She started now paying school fees for the children out of the profits of the VSLA.
Butina amadinya nyeipiala aje tivini mandri amadisa sindro yakwa amadia zabe persa seti manyedira.
Now out of the profits she gets from the VSLA, she has been able to buy a she-goat, and she's able to feed her family out of it, and the she-goat has been able to multiply.
Our four wow persa so mama pa madia zabe kuda amalo filisa zabe free ena kiletini tile there.
So now with the support she gets from WoW, she's able to look after her children, provide for them as if their father is still alive, and yet the father is not there, but it's the support from WoW that gives her the opportunity to take care of the family. So she thanks WoW so much for all that support.
Josephine came across the cluster meeting 3 years ago. She was actually on her way to take her own life. And purely, she heard what was going on. She came, she gave her life to Jesus, she's turned her life around, and as you heard in her words, her life has been completely transformed. So thank you again for making a massive difference in what we do. Bless you.